Hello, and welcome back to Ascension TV Online. It's so good to be back every week. I'm so excited, and I think I feel so grateful that I get to do these shows. So today we have beautiful Angela Medway-Smith, and I want to say just before I get really into Angela's work, I just want to tell people a little story about how I met Angela because if you're watching this and you think that you're not intuitive or you're not spiritual or something, right? I reckon you will know what I mean. Okay, I woke up on a Sunday morning and I had this feeling I've got to go to a spiritual fair. And I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't going to a lot and I didn't run them back then. This is before COVID, before I went to Portugal again. Found a gig on their Facebook, scrolled through, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. Little Welsh village. I don't even remember where it was. I don't know if you remember, Ange. And I just knew, all right, I'm going to go. So off I went in my car and I walked in and I scanned the room and I was like, oh, I've got to talk to you. And it was Angela. She was doing a talk. And I was like, I think I need to talk to you. Can we have a session? And here we go. 5, 6 years later, I've done healings with you, trainings. I've been mentored by you for 3 years, I think. Haven't had one for a while because I said I've got so much on. I need to have a little rest and get on with the work. But thank you, Angela, because you have been a massive change in my life, and I'm so grateful. So welcome, Angela. How about you tell everyone, if they don't already know you, who you are and what you do in the world?
Okay. Thank you, Caroline. It's so nice to be here today.
Oh,
So
you're so welcome.
I'm I'm known as the practical mystic, and I'm a spiritual teacher, author, channel for the Ascended Master and Archangelic Collective. I've been through a huge metamorphosis myself in the last decade and have written in and created book series, channel books. I'm so blessed. They've all just gone out into the world and created a tsunami of healing. But in essence, I'm somebody who helps people follow their soul's path in whichever way they choose to work with me.
Sure. Yeah. And in a sense, I'm getting so many shivers about this. So in a sense, that is exactly what's happened, isn't it? Because talking to you meant that I could expand. A lot of people on my path, it's like, oh, do you have to talk about past life? You're only human. And it just felt very crushing, because if people don't see like I've seen, it's like, well, why are you talking about this? But for me, it's like I can't not be have this inner world that I see stuff and whatever. And so talking to you has allowed me to expand and expand and expand. And as you can see with Angela's background there, we've got, and I've got them here actually, we, you said to me you were in this book. Yeah, spirit's telling me you're going to be in this book. And then, the next one, we got, oh no, this one, first one. And
That
then
was
the
number one, yeah.
and we were in this one together with our friends Lainey Swante Walcombe, beautiful American lady. And then, of course, last year's books, the Magdalene Oracle and the Intuitive Oracle. So we're even aside from all the other work that I've done and the messages that have come through and the spiritual fairs that you were saying, Spirit want you to run these fairs. Are you up for doing that? Yeah, okay. So, you've got me on that track and helped me just keep taking the step, keep taking open. And because I'm doing that, I'm helping other people do that. So it's just
Yeah,
that ripple,
yeah,
isn't it? And it's just lovely. And I'm so grateful. And it's funny, isn't it? Because that happens in many ways, isn't it? Whether it's the book or whether it's a healing or a course. So
yeah, yeah.
so tell me about the Oracle series. You've got all the books there. Tell me, how did it
Oh my days.
begin?
So one of my main guides is the Ascended Master Saint Germain. And I had already channeled two books for him, the Book of Many Colours and the Book of Many Flames, which talk about the divine rays and sacred flames and how
Yeah,
you can use them for personal transformation and for healing.
sure.
Um, and then and then we were having this conversation, and I was instructed to create a book that helped people understand that there were many, many different healing modalities. Now, healers know this, but people in regular life think, oh, it's just Reiki
I was
and
going to say just Ray.
spiritual healing.
Yeah.
And really it's not, you know.
Yeah.
Spiritual healing has been, I mean, we have, spiritual healing was where my journey began 40 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And since there have been people, there have been healers in the community.
Yeah.
But every healing modality has a different frequency and a different flavor, if you like. If you think about different flavor of apples, we all like different flavored apples. We all like
Sure.
different people. It's all about vibration.
Yeah.
So it started with the Energy Healers Oracle. And I was absolutely thrilled that you heard the call to be part of that beautiful book that really gave me a baptism of fire in what it's like to manage a project with many collaborative authors.
Sure.
But I'm so proud of that book because we were deeply honoured, and Book Authority, which is kind of like Goodreads in the States, ranked us as number 21 of the top 100 healing books of all time.
Yeah, I'm getting shivers about that. Shivers, 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 shivers. It's yeah, it was
I
pretty
know, I know,
proud,
it's
right?
absolutely crazy,
Really
absolutely crazy. So
amazing.
we're on the list with people like Deepak Chopra, Barbara Brennan, Alberto Violdo, and none of these sort of accolades last long. But we were there, you know. They
Yeah,
said, "Look how good this book
yeah,
is," and
amazing.
we sharing that with the world and creating this tsunami of healing around the world. So that was volume one.
Yeah,
In volume two, we covered more modalities. So you covered Seamus hands and angelic vortex healing
yeah,
in across those two.
yeah,
And and then I took a step back and I wanted to make sure that the books were not just beautiful productions, but were created in sacred space, because the next job that my guides had for me, because Mary Magdalene's one of my guides as well, Lady Nada,
mm,
was to create a vehicle for the Magdalene frequency to help people understand the different ways you can tap into the Magdalene flame, the path of the rose, and again, many, many different flavors, many, many sisters from around the planet joined that collaboration to share their unique way of tapping into that frequency.
yeah.
And and you don't know this yet. Very exciting. I'd already committed to translating the Magdalene Oracle into French,
Sure.
because there were so many Magdalene sisters in France who wanted to read it and didn't have the confidence to read in English. And, and then my guide said, invite more in and they will write in French.
Nice, beautiful.
So in this year, we are we will be launching the updated edition of the Magdalene Oracle with
Sure.
not only the original authors,
Yeah.
but the French authors who will come in as well with their own different practices. And it'll be available not just in French, but in English. And that's the beginning then of translating all of my books into other languages,
Beautiful.
which is really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
I mean, we already managed with the series to, including the Intuitives Oracle, which was the second book last year. We've already managed to capture Amazon number one bestseller spots in, I think, about 10 countries around the world altogether across all the books.
Yeah.
So we're really blessed as to how the books are being received, but I don't want to just limit those to people who speak English.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be expanding it. We've already had the wonderful Terry Wellbrook voice the Oracle series for us for Audible. And the Intuitives Oracle will be available in a couple of weeks, actually.
I
It's
Yeah.
actually almost there with ACX, who are the people behind Audible. So, yeah, so you can get all of the Oracle books on audio. And apart from the first one, where they're voiced by a lovely lady called Rebecca, everyone is voiced by Terry Wellbrook, who's got the most beautiful resonance. And she's also voiced my channel books as well.
Oh, amazing. And I just
Yeah.
want to say, going back to your other books, you've also got a card deck, haven't you, connected to those books. So do you want
Yeah, I
do you
have.
have them
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
or I might grab them to show you them. Do you have them to hand?
They're across the other side of the room. Shall I
Could
pop and shall I
Yeah,
pop and get them?
get them.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell our viewers why I feel called to mention them, because these cards, I used to support Angela at some of the fairs that we do, and or she was doing, and I would get to play with these cards. And bit by bit, I knew I had to have a card deck. I've got absolutely loads of them, and I'll be doing readings soon using them, and using my our guides. And these cards always feel, when I'm working with clients, my long-term clients, usually at some point or other, I get guided to call them and do the first exercise of the soul destiny number. I often get guided to do it, because then the reason being is, Angela mentioned already Lady Nada and Saint Germain, and we all have multiple guides for different projects, different aspects of our life. We have guardian angels and everything. But I used to get really overwhelmed. I read loads about the ascended masters. I felt really connected to them and really inspired by them. And then when I did the Moon Eye Key, you connect with all these different guides as well. But it can be really overwhelming. And if you don't know, it's like, well, how it's like going to a supermarket going, well, where do I start? And when you do the soul alignment reading, which is mentioned in the Book of Many Colors, you find out the guide that is kind of specific to your soul journey overall, don't you? And for me, it's
Yeah.
Kuan Yin into our core, and it just gave me. It's not like I call on them all the time, because I know different energies come in at different times, but I know that they're there and they're guiding and overarching. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about those cards?
Yeah, yeah. So these are my accidental oracle deck.
Right, I love that.
So yeah, you know the story that Kieran Morgan, who is another beautiful soul,
Yeah,
he's brother of dragons,
yeah.
had created the artwork in black and white for me for the Book of Many Colors. This is back in 2021. And I'd sent him a message and said, Kieran, do you think you could create the images in color? Because I'm going to do a card deck. Now, my original thought was because I obviously clairvoyant, I see when I channel, I had voiced the description of how the masters and angels had appeared to me. And I was going to ask another friend to paint these
Right.
images,
Yep.
but then so that I was going to add the image of the specific frequency to the card. Kieran completely misunderstood me, and within 2 days, he'd created half a card deck.
Wow, I love it.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane. So I didn't intend for it to happen as quickly, but obviously Spirit wanted it to happen quickly. So
Oh,
so this is the deck. They're the Divine Rays Oracle deck and affirmation cards, and they show of the sacred symbols of the 28 divine rays and sacred flames that we all have access to, that the two books actually talk about. but they give you an affirmation for the day as well. And these are channeled affirmations. These were actually given to me at the time I was channeling
Love.
many colours. And what I'm going to do, Caroline, instead of just like showing random cards, I'll pick a card for the viewers.
Yes,
So yeah,
I was thinking that would be the case.
yeah, yeah. So
Beautiful.
let's see what
Wow.
comes.
Mm, mm.
Do you know what? You can't make it up. This card was at the top of the deck when I took them out of the box, and I've shuffled them, and it's still come out. And we've got and so the
Oh,
ray that the viewers need to know about is
ah,
the sixth ray,
Mother
and it's
Mary.
the ray of the Divine Mother, Mother Mary. It's a six-pointed blue star, and oh my days, this is such a beautiful frequency. When you drop into this energy, it is like having a touch from an angel.
Mhm.
It is unconditional love. It is so beautiful. The affirmation is I am nurture.
Mm,
I
mm,
am nurture.
mm.
And we can use the affirmation, we can use a symbol, we can use a really simple meditation or invocation to call in this energy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just seeing it then. This is how it weaves into the work that I do with the angelic vortex healing. You can literally just see the blue energy, that deep blue energy of that ray just wrapping around you, coming down and through, but also wrapping you. So I went through a stage where I would call upon, I'd use one of the cards every day and let that come through and around me. And it's just like, yeah, you just feel so touched and protected. And it's funny because I was thinking of Lady Nada, but obviously they're very close, they're friends. So funny that the Mary came in for that. So I love that. Thank you, Angela. That's just, oh,
So, I mean, because you use them, but the alchemical aura sprays that I created as well, these drop you into that energy really quickly. Um, Again, they're channeled recipes, so yeah, they'll be available for a while. I mean, things are changing for me, but I want to keep those going for a while.
yeah.
They're just, I love them. I don't want to do without them myself, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, please don't stop. They're gorgeous. I have a bookcase by my door and I have all the different sprays. I've got our friend Crystal spray with the divine energy healing spray and all sorts, but those seven, and I've got my spares, to top up. So I'm like, please don't stop. Or you have to get somebody else to make them on your behalf if you get that busy. And that's the thing, isn't it? Working with spirit. I get like a name dropped in or I get an idea and it's just like this. It gets louder and louder. I'm like, okay, right. I just phoned somebody. Is like, can we do this? Yeah, okay. And this is what happens. And it's not an obligation. It becomes because essentially we work in a team and spirit knows because they see beyond space and beyond their comprehension really. They know what people need, and I do think like I would never have thought about doing the fairs, but looking back over my life, I do have the skills to put things on. I watched my parents. My mum was a teacher, my dad was a scoutmaster, and they were always organizing things. So I watched them. It's nothing to load up the car and chivvy things along. That's what I grew up watching. So that's what I do with the fairs, and the next thing, and there'll be more things coming. So, we get given jobs and roles that are going to help us expand, isn't it? And that
Yeah,
help others. And that's how we're co-creating the new earth. It's about once we've healed some, we start creating, we step out of the kind of feeling disempowered into the empowered self, isn't it? And then we're
exactly,
created together. So, and this
exactly.
thing coming back to the books that you're in and and you've created with the Oracle series, the one thing that really comes to my mind is, I had written a book before I'd even met you in 2017. It wasn't long before I met you. And it sat there and it sat there, and I knew it was going to come a time and I'd have to release it. And I was, in all this grappling. And I'd written another book connected, and had spirit appear that no, get rid of that book. It wasn't the right thing. And da, da, da. And you get moved around because there's an order to how it's going
Yeah.
to unfold for you. So when I was in these books, and it hasn't always been easy, I was getting a bit cocky, thinking, oh yeah, 3,000 words, no problem. And this one, oh man, it was a challenge. I felt like I was stopped. So I really humbled, and then I started praying, really deeply praying, and then the messages came through that, they wanted me to share. But they really helped me to hone my writing to and package, because it's very easy, isn't it, when we get I didn't realize how that you could say I'm psychic, because I would just have stuff come to me. I didn't have words for it years ago, but the intuitive oracle, is all about learning the different understandings about our psychic gifts. But so I downloaded this book that which is now Who Called You Crazy, but it wasn't packaged, it wasn't in a format that was easy to receive. So these books, if you haven't read them, and I'll put the links below, if you want to buy them, you can buy them from us as individuals, because then you can get like a signed copy, or you can buy them straight from Amazon. But each chapter has a really beautiful story from each author, and then it weaves into the healing modality and how it might have come about, and how we use it in our life. And then it's got tools. So this isn't just us going, oh yeah, look, we've got this amazing journey. They are packed full of meditations and activations, ceremonies, like healing practices. It's just mind blowing. I haven't finished all of them. Like I haven't finished, reading all of them, because it's just so much content. You could do a
Yeah.
retreat like for a week on each book, right? Because there is so many practices. So yeah, thank you, Angela. And can you tell me, like, how, because obviously it's changed me by being part of it and helped me have that courage to release my book. How has it changed you? And is it, did you ever think you were going to be a writer, or, what's the journey been like for you in terms of writing?
Well, it's really strange. When I was a child, I loved writing.
Right.
I used to write poetry. I mean, when you think about it, when as an adult and where I am now, I used to sit looking into an open fire and words would come. I was
Right.
channeling, yeah. So I
Hey,
love poetry. I love to write. I love to write stories, and the stories would always be about, you know, visit, our
angels.
little friends and
Yeah,
angels, and
yeah, yeah,
my,
yeah,
the stories were always about that because
yeah,
that's probably what was going on with me at the time, but I didn't
yeah,
actually recognize it.
yeah. Go and get shivers all over about that.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, in my work life, I've had to write, I was writing copy and things like that, and then really boring policies and procedures, and so I was always writing.
Mhm. Yeah.
But so my writing became to have much more structure and form.
Mm,
The channel books were, well, the channeling well, it wasn't, it did become easy for me, but it didn't flow immediately to start with. I had a year of practice with a group of
right.
people,
Yeah.
but so that many colors could actually come to fruition.
Yeah.
But the structure of those books is basically like a little handbook,
Yeah.
really practical, really easy to follow, because that's what I'm all about. And then when I came into the structure of the oracle books, I've learned to write differently for different spaces. I
Yeah.
think that's the way my writing has changed.
Yeah.
I think I'd always been channeling.
Yeah.
So, and literally some of the books I've written not necessarily. these spirit always guide me. But some of the books I've written in, I'll say, what am I going to write about this? So volume two, Energy Healers Oracle, the violet flame is a huge part of my life. So I thought, oh, I'll write about the violet flame. So I sat down to write about the violet flame, and I was told, you're not writing about that. And
Yeah.
then I had a little, oh, okay, well, it needs to be in this book.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, I have a phone call from my friend Diana, and and then we have the conversation, and she said, "Oh, I'd really like to write about the violet flame." I thought, all
Uh-huh.
right, well, now I understand why I'm not writing about it
Yeah.
because somebody else has got that job
Sure.
in this volume.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it's really, really interesting. And we've got one Oracle book left. We have, you were saying earlier on that we have jobs to do, and we can accept those jobs, we can negotiate on them, we can ignore them, but eventually we'll have to get on with it because otherwise we're going to have to come and do it in another life.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel. But so I think I might as well just get on with it
Yeah.
now
So
and
yes.
just do it
Yeah.
and do what I'm here to do on the planet. So
Sure.
the last book is called Good Grief, the Oracle. And the inspiration came from Debs, my
Yeah.
lovely friend Debs Byers, who I've known for many, many years. Years ago, we used to do workshops together, and she used to exhibit at my festivals.
Mm.
And so it was her title, Good Grief. And the concept is something that doesn't a book that doesn't exist out there in the same way that the Intuitives Oracle doesn't exist out there, and the Energy Healers Oracle and the Magdalene Oracle, they don't exist out there. The books in these forms. So we're looking at grief and its impact, but all forms of grief, not just grief from the loss of a loved one. So it can be grief from the loss of a pet, of the loss of a limb, of a loss of a childhood because of abuse, or or any form of grief, grief
And I
of
would
the
say
loss of a dream,
the
you know?
endings as well, endings of phases, because it's
Absolutely.
just it. And
Yeah,
I feel, sorry, I just feel like saying that because of the time we're in, we're cycling through a lot of changes in our personal lives. So I've had, like, every 2 years, I've changed homes, I've changed jobs, because if we're over here, but actually our soul is here, we're having to do a lot of shifting. But that's challenging, isn't it? I mean, that's a lot of work I've been doing. My inner work is like just letting go and being like, it's okay. I didn't fail. I just needed to move on, because we're asking, we're being asked to kind of evolve. I'm become
yeah,
our
yeah,
soul. So, and it has been a lot of grieving, letting people go that you just can't
yeah,
hold on. They're living, but you still have to let them go. So it
yeah, yeah,
really is
absolutely.
beautiful.
So it's gonna there and some of these journeys of grief aren't recognized as grief.
Yeah,
They might be recognized as trauma, but at the root of it all is the same principle. It's we are grieving a loss.
yeah.
And so my my hope for this wonderful book is that it's going to help people navigate that journey with grief in all its forms. So I'm still looking for authors. So if anybody who's listening
I was
right
gonna ask,
now,
yeah,
yeah. So spirit send me who needs to be in there. So I don't make a song and dance about it, but I'm open if somebody wants to come and have a conversation with me and see whether or not it's a good fit for them.
sure.
Because being in the Oracle books has changed people's lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's more than just a book. And like, it's funny actually, this weekend, so I ran a fair on Sunday and I had my stall, and I kind of have it there because I'm here and there's a presence, but I'm also, because I'm running it and I'm saying, here's the next workshop and I'm doing workshops myself, I don't pay too much. It's like, well, it's there, and if it's there. This weekend, oh my goodness me, I did, as I said, I did 5 healings in between. It's like healing workshop. And my mum was there, and she was talking to people, and she was saying, "Oh, this book, da 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 da," and actually, what was happening in some of the sessions is I'm getting shown this book, and I don't know what's in it for you. So for me, as somebody that offers healing and coaching and the light language activations, like one of the women, it was this one, and we actually did like a mini soul retrieval. It was a really busy morning, and it was like, well, this thing's happening. She was like, you game. She's a psychic as well, and we got to do this. And basically it was like a feminine soul retrieval, because a lot of us have been in our masculine and we're calling in the feminine. And I was like, I'm being shown this book. And she said, well, it's funny, I've been getting Mary Magdalene coming into me the last few weeks. And I'm like, she goes, you don't have to sell it. She's having the book. So it's not, yes, I've got a chapter in it. And I was guided because I was out on a walk, wasn't I? I remember saying, have you got a meeting? You were like, yeah. And I'm like, I think I meant to. You're like, yeah, Spirit's saying, yeah. And I was like, all right, then. I didn't know I was going to be in it. And again, I used to think, girl, how am I going to, because there is some money, because obviously Angela employs people to help, and it takes some money to get it together. And I just say, you have to say yes, and that's the thing, because it's like a syllabus of learning. It's like a mystery school in a book, you know,
Yeah,
and I don't have to know all of the ins and outs and everything to know that there's something in here, because I haven't got everything. I haven't got all the answers. And then somebody else had my book. She'd also been, detained section, and had a breakdown, and
mm.
she saw it, and she just saw the title, and she knew. She was like, yes. And my mum was, what I could hear my mum talking to her. It's like, mum, it's all right. She's going to have the book. She wants it. And then another one, it was the oracle one, because this woman was doing a lot of the energy healers one, because the woman was doing a lot of healing and meditating, and I said, yeah, I think this will help you take your next step. So it's massive. It's not just, oh, I'm going to be in a book and I have to pay some money. It's the ripple that goes out into our
Huge,
communities. It's
huge.
such a big, you can do talks with it. And for me, as somebody that's obviously running Ascension TV online, I've got like over 100 authors, I think, that I'm connected to. There's a whole community of people that will be feeding into the wisdom that is going to be shown through Ascension TV. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just, you don't know the doors, isn't it? And this is the thing with intuition, isn't it? Take a step and just keep taking the little steps, isn't it? So,
yeah, yeah. So as well as my own books, I recognize the power of
mm,
being in collaborations, because so I'm still joining other people's collaborative books.
right.
Julie Williams, who wrote in the Energy Healers Oracle Volume 1 about family constellations.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's got a project which is running at the moment that I'm writing in, because it will go out to different networks, it will go out to different people.
Yeah.
And so the message and the healing I bring them will touch them. And, I get calls from people book me, and they've read something 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then they've been on my mailing list, and then eventually they'll come in. So it's not always immediate. I mean, you have lots of immediate things that happen, but you're out there. When you have a chapter in a book collaboration, it's up to you what you do with it,
Mm.
because that chapter will be out there as an advertisement for you and your business, creating the healing you are meant to bring in
Mm.
perpetuity.
Yeah.
So some authors have gifted them to libraries. They're available. They're all the newer ones from the Magdalene Oracle on, and my channel books. They're also available on library apps.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
you can get them there. You can get them on Audible. You can get them on Kindle. Whatever works to sustain the healing that we're creating
Yeah.
and helping people wake up.
Yeah, and it's that ripple effect, isn't it? And what I'm showing is it's just this activation, this phase that we're in, isn't we're activating. And I put it actually in the this phrase that came in years ago to me. We're awakening, we're remembering, we're evolving, we're divine beings. You know,
Absolutely.
it's not that we didn't know, but you know, it might have been our journey that we chose to have some dynamic play out, and then something happens. You're like, oh my God, hang on, and you start seeing it. I mean, I kind of always had this overview because I was seeing past lives and seeing like quite almost too much as a kid. It was like, whoa, bit full on. But you know, it's not everyone's path, and that's okay. You know, some people are here to help with like building roads, or you know what I mean,
Yeah,
we wrap
yeah,
up, and
yeah,
it's not better or worse. But at some point the shift is coming that I believe anyway, and I think a lot of us do, you know, that are in this type of work, that there will come a time that all of life, all of human life, will just know that there's other realms, and we're working on multiple layers, and we're energy beings and all of that. And that's why this work is so important, isn't it?
mm, mm, mm.
And it's kind of to me it's stabilizing as well. Reading the chapters in these books helps me remember, and I get shivers honestly all through that conversation, that you know we're not alone. And it's one of the reasons why I'm
Yeah,
loving doing Ascension TV, because it's saying, you know what, you know, years ago when I got locked up, I knew like two psychics, just about, like my mate's mum, and she helped me. She phoned me in hospital. Oh, just put the white light around you, you know, and they didn't think I was crazy, but everyone else around me, it was like, oh, you're talking about your weird stuff. You know, it was just now because of the internet, because of, you know, more and this built, it's a wave, isn't it? And it's very
yeah, yeah,
stabilizing for me, for sure, to say, that's not weird. That's completely normal. It's like, yeah, whatever. What you see past lives, whatever. You know, it's like, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just normalizing that which in other eras on Earth, it's not like it was the first time, would been have been completely normal. Like I mean,
yeah,
in
yeah.
India, it's normal to think of past lives. Reincarnation is
Mhm.
not weird. You know, it's just in the West we've had our spirituality like dumbed down, isn't it? So yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
work, Angela
Big,
Orora.
yeah, big work. And we're all doing our part in it.
Yeah,
We're all doing our part in it. And everything, I mean, for everybody, you can't compare your journey to anybody else's.
gosh, no.
Everybody's journey is completely unique. And I think for me, it's the books are helping people with what I found a challenge when I was
Sure.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I had an awakening that was completely off the wall, probably the same as yours, Caroline, except
Mm.
immediately I had help.
Yeah. You had spiritual
Immediately,
help. Yeah. And I had an
yeah,
intervention.
immediately
Yeah.
immediately the meditation teacher who I went to and said, "Oh my God, this is happening," said, "Oh my God, here's the name of my teacher." So
Sure.
I was really lucky, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and but obviously that was all part of the plan.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, for me, when I got sectioned, it was like I split, because one part of me was like, haha, yeah, I about you fuckers. It was just the same kind of feeling I got when I was in room 101 in uni, and I'd just been reading 1984 going, oh, you're having a bloody laugh or what? I something in me knew the first time, not so it was a shock, but the second time I was like, yeah, there's a reason I'm back, because I'm with it this time. I'm not in the shock, and because I got
Mm,
knocked
mm.
out with the medication, everything against my will and all that. It was quite harsh. The second time it was like, okay, just like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I'm like, this is meant to be. I can feel something in me knowing this is aligned, because I'm learning, and I'm gonna something in me new. But obviously there was the human that had different challenges around the situation. So yeah, it's taken me a while to integrate the soul loss, or the trauma part, but I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
had that. Yeah, there's something going on here, because I studied the philosophy of mental health in uni, and I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. And then when I went to get that first-hand experience, I was like, yeah, fair play. You couldn't make up that experience, right? And
No,
obviously
no.
I've written the book, and there'll be some more work related to that experience. So yeah, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, doesn't matter, your frequency is enough. I see quite a lot of posts these days, and it's lovely, because I've had a massive pressure on me. Oh, I had an awakening, I should be doing, and it's like, no,
Mm.
just being here. And I've just seen the time, 1333, right?
Yeah,
We are enough.
1333.
You are enough. And that was the message that came through, actually. The very succinct message was about the Magdalene flame and the Christ flame. She is, we are. It was like, you are, I am, we are. We all carry these divine flames. We're just presenting in a different way, like the trees in the
Yeah,
forest or the grains of sand on the beach. So we're all important, no matter what we think we are or not doing, isn't it? It's
yeah, yeah.
everybody. We're not complete without everybody. So Angela, God, we could talk about all this and more for a long time, but I know we've both got more things to do today. So, last thing, Angela, if you had one thing that you would love to gift on to somebody watching or your clients, what would you love to say to them, or what would you like to offer? What's your
Okay. So are you on about a specific tool? Because I give
Yeah,
free stuff away on my website. Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
tool. That would be
Specific tool.
lovely. Okay.
So at the root of everything, what can help you in every element of your life is to protect, ground, cleanse your energy on a
Mhm,
regular basis.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
so I've got a free giveaway called the Rainbow Waterfall on my website.
beautiful.
Um, that's a freebie, but it's also for the people to actually understand, wherever you are is the right place at the moment. I want people to know that. And, it's about enjoying the journey you're on and
Mhm.
actually paying attention. Because when
Yeah.
we pay attention,
Yeah.
we gain so many riches.
Hmm.
If we rush, do, we miss out on all these incredible experiences. And it's like that stop and smell the roses, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is that simple. And there's a walk I do to the station here, and there are rose bushes, and I specifically go along that road because there are rose bushes. And I always allow time. And miraculously, I've never missed a train, even though I stop to smell the roses.
Roses. Oh my gosh. I love that, Angela.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
that.
actually, because if you're meant to be on that train, you will be on that
Yeah.
train.
And if not, not. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've got to say, I was laughing away, because the last 2 days, I think we had a solar surge. So the last 2 days, I've been like, oh, and I'm busy, busy, busy getting things done. And it feels good to tick on. I got a lot of on my to-do list for the next fair, and I got loads of da. But today I woke up and I was like, thank goodness for that. I could feel the energy had settled,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
grounded in the in the shower. I always do some things in the morning. And you're so right, though, because you miss a connection, or you miss that little nudge if you're
mm,
just busy. And there's a time and a place for getting things done, but there's a time and a place for stop and be and just
yeah,
in.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also, like you're saying, if something's frustrating, tune in, see what's going on, what's
yeah,
underneath, and then you'll find
yeah.
the gold in it, isn't it? So I love that,
And
Angela.
yeah, and I'm going to come back to the train analogy because you will always be on the right train. So yesterday I took lots of trains, and I would needed to be on the other side of London because I was speaking, and I went, I missed the time I was meant to leave. I took a completely different route to the route I normally take, arrived perfectly on time. But it was only when I got into the venue that I realised that I was sat next to, on the train, to one of the ladies that was speaking with me. You can't
Mm,
make it up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then coming home, I'm on completely different route, talking to somebody, and the lady who I'd plonked myself next to had overheard the conversation, and she wanted to work with me.
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Always on the right train. You're always on the right train.
And I
Don't
did
think you've missed it.
oh yeah, something that I was like, oh, that feels too far away. And it was like, no, that's just trust, you because if you
Yeah,
logically try to compute it, things don't add up. But spirit and the divine, it's always bigger than the sum of the parts. Everything is there's more going on than meets the eye.
yeah,
Souls are meeting all the time, and you don't always know why. So I guess another word that coming through is trust, isn't it? Just
yeah,
trust the next step, trust and just surrender to the journey. So goodness,
yeah,
that's a great message to finish on. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Angela. um,
Bless you, Harriet. Thank you.
so good to connect. It's been a while, and we'll be on the good grief oracle journey soon, and we'll be due for a meeting. I could get my ducks in a row soon. So
Yeah. Oh, well, May we kick off, so we've
yeah.
got a while. We've got a
Yeah,
while yet.
brilliant.
So,
So if you are interested in anything that Angela has spoken about, check the comments below because I'll pop loads of the links there, and you can get the free download from Angela's website there as well. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you got this far, well done. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. We've got Becky Moore, we've got Kieran Morgan, and then we've got Dr. Stephen Colan, who wrote the forward in my book. So we're talking about him. He's a holistic psychiatrist. So he was the guy that wrote the forward in yeah. So got lots of beautiful shows coming up. So do join us again next week. So much love to you. Thanks so much again, Angela, and we'll see you
thank you, Caroline.
soon. Oh,
Thank
you're so
you. It's been
welcome.
my pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great.